Good morning, everybody. We are on Tuesday morning. We are going to talk a little about Avraham Avinu. God is telling Avraham Avinu, Lech lecha ma'artzecha, leave your place and go to the land I'm going to show. So we have to see here a few things. First of all, he's not telling him where to go. And we later on see that Avraham Avinu knows exactly where to go, and he goes there. Then it's very strange. Lech lecha ma'artzecha, go away from your land, from your place of birth, moladetcha, and from the house of your father. If you're going out of the land, you already got out of all the places. So it should be different. In order to make it right, you have to say, first of all, leave your house, your home, your father's home. Then leave your where you were born, let's say the neighborhood, then or the town, and then leave the country. But here, it's not the right way to say it. Also, what is lech lecha? Why pa'amayim? Why twice lech lecha? Lech lecha is Rasi for your own benefits. In other words, you're going to go for your own benefit, leave the place. And our sages say that Avraham had 10 trials, 10 tests. The first one, Lech lecha, and the last one also Lech lecha. Lech lecha, the first one, Lech lecha ma'artzecha, which we're talking about, and the end one is on Akedat Yitzchak, Lech lecha l'Eretz HaMoriah, and sacrifice your son. And says they're all equal. Lech lecha rishon, Lech lecha acharon, Lech lecha acharon, Lech lecha rishon. How can you compare sacrificing your son to leaving the place, and as we said, with a big promise that you're going to multiply, you have to get, you've been going to bless, and your name will be increased, and you'll be blessed, etc. Unbelievable. This is a test. If people tell you, if somebody tells you, leave the place, and you're living in a poor neighborhood, leave the place and go to a beautiful place, and there you will be a millionaire, you're going to get everything you want, you're going to have a beautiful family, wife, kids, whatever, husband, all the best of the best. Is this a test? Would you leave? Yes. You know, it is not easy to leave the place where you used to, which is called the comfort zone. It's not easy. But if you get all those promises from whom? From God himself. What test is here? And this is something we have to mention before we go on to explain all the other things that we don't understand. Vayomer Hashem el Avraham, Lech lecha ma'artzecha, Vayomer, he tells him. And look what is Avraham Avinu doing. Vayelech Avraham ka'asher diber. It says Vayomer and diber. So Vayomer is something good. You're going to be blessed, as we see. What God is telling him. Vayidaber, it's like an order. You do as you ordered, and it doesn't matter what's going to happen. God is telling him, Vayomer, you're going to enjoy this. It's all Lech lecha for your own benefits, letovatcha. But Avraham Avinu, that's not the reason he's going. He's going kasher diber Hashem, as God orders. It for him, it doesn't matter if it's Akedat Yitzchak or if it's going to be a billionaire. And when God tells him in the last test, Lech lecha l'Eretz HaMoriah, God is telling him, ordering him to go and sacrifice his son. Avraham Avinu is doing it the same way he is doing the first test in our parsha. Why? Because for him, Avraham Avinu, it doesn't matter what is going to happen, what it is. God told me to do it, I'm doing it. And that's exactly the point. When we get to Akedat Yitzchak, we'll talk about it a little more. But this is exactly the point. And this is why this is considered one of the tests. Because we see, like it's, like you can say this is a very easy test and then a bad test. But for Avraham, it doesn't matter. He's doing it because God tells him to do it. Now let's understand this thing that God is telling him. You see, ויקח אברהם את שרה אשתו ואת בן אחיו ויראה את ראשם שחשוב את המזרח ויצאו ללכת ארצה כנען, and they're going out to go where? ארצה כנען. But God didn't tell you where to go. How do you know to go to ארץ כנען? And then ויבואו ארצה כנען, and they got there. I don't understand. If he's going to ארץ כנען, to the land of Canaan, so he's going to get there. Why is the Torah telling it twice? ויצאו ללכת ארצה כנען, they went out to ארץ כנען, and they got to ארץ כנען. What's going on here? Says the Rav Leventhal, an unbelievable, beautiful idea. The Gemara, the Mishnah in Pirkei Avot says, 10 dorot minoach ve'ad Avraham ichisu et hamakom. I don't know exactly how it's written, but that's the spirit of things. It says 10 generations from the generation of Noach to the generation of Avraham Avinu, they made God angry. They didn't do the good in the eyes of God. Ba Avraham ve'lakach schar kulam. And Avraham got the reward for all of them, for all those generations. So first of all, what do you mean? What do you mean? What reward? Reward on going in a bad way? A reward on not doing what God tells you to do? A reward on what? That you made God angry? That's a reward for this? What does it mean? It's not a reward, it's a punishment. And why should he get a reward for 10 generations? And let's understand what reward it is. Says the Rav Leventhal, when Noach got out of the ark, they're all supposed to go where? To Eretz Israel, to Eretz Canaan. But they started walking there, going there, and in the middle of the way, Nimrod stopped them and decided to do what he wanted to fight, to go against God. And they stopped in a Ur Kasdim, and they didn't get to Eretz Canaan. Then there was one family that left, going on the way to Canaan, and this family was the family as we see in last parasha. 1 minute, let me find it. ויקח תרח את אברהם בנו ואת לוט בן הרן בן בנו, he took his son Avram and Lot בן הרן בנו ואת שרה כלתו אשת אברהם ויצאו איתם מאור כסדים. They got out of Ur Kasdim, and listen what's written here, ללכת ארצה כנען. They know the way, they're going to Canaan. But ויבואו עד חרן וישבו שם. They also didn't finish the journey, they stopped in Haran. The only one who finishes the journey is Avraham Avinu. And that's why it's written, ויצאו ללכת, they got out to go to Eretz Canaan, but they not only got out, they got there to Eretz Canaan. ויבואו ארצה כנען. And this is the important thing, that they got to Eretz Canaan. And because of this, he got a reward for all the generation that didn't finish the mission. So the lesson here is, when you start something, finish it. And mitzvah nikret al yedei Hashem gumra. When you finish something, you're the one who have the mitzvah. So if somebody starts something and you finish this, and you finish this, what he started, this mitzvah, the mitzvah is yours. And that's exactly what's happening here. When they started walking from the ark towards Eretz Canaan, but they didn't finish the job, they didn't go to reward. They made God hungry. The only one who finished the job is Avraham Avinu, and that's why he is getting the reward for all those who didn't finish the journey, that stopped on the way. And this is also the idea, Lech lecha ma'artzecha, go from your land, from your place you were born, from the house of your father, and to the land that I'm going to show you. Because he's going on with a mission that started in the beginning. That's why the order is upside down, to tell us that the journey started long ago. And Avraham Avinu now is in a stage that he's finishing the journey, and because of this, he is the one who did the whole thing. And that's why Avraham Avinu knows exactly where to go, because God is not telling him where to go. God is telling him, Lech lecha ela aretz asher areka. But Avraham Avinu is very clearly what's going on here. ויצאו ללכת ארצה כנען, ויבואו ארצה כנען. Unbelievable. Now, when we talk about Avraham Avinu and the 10 tests he had, so we have to understand the Torah is not talking on Avraham Avinu. The Torah is talking about everybody, about us, each one of us with his 10 tests that he's got, with the Avraham Avinu that is inside us. And we have tests like this and tests like this. Like, I came back yesterday morning from China from an exhibition in Guangzhou, the biggest exhibition in the world. And I must tell you, I'm going to write on it on Shabbos. It was an unbelievable. First, we did something like, it takes you around 2 days to get there, 2 days to get back, because of all the flights. You're changing flights, you're waiting, and it's all for 3 days to be in the exhibition. But we learn a lot of this. First of all, when we talk about this big exhibition, you know, the first time we came to this exhibition, we were very disappointed because the booths were very small. But then, quickly enough, we realized that each one of those small booths is a huge, big firm, because everybody wants to be there. And this is an exhibition that you've got everything what you can think about is there. And you know, you can walk and walk and walk. It's unbelievable. Now, and when you realize that each one of those booths is something unbelievable, it's a big thing there, it's small, but don't look at how it looks from outside. Dig inside. That's everything in life. This is the lecha. This is the way to learn from the way you're walking, and to see and learn, what is this teaching me? And this is unbelievable. And you know, it wasn't easy. But you know, sometimes in life, that's our lecha. It takes, but this exhibition is a parnasa, so you have to try harder. So you do, you go, you walk, you do, you fly for hours. You are. I don't want to even start to tell you what we went through, especially when we came back. We were in the border of Shenzhen, between Shenzhen and Hong Kong, for an hour. That every car was checked, and you had to go out of the car and go to the other side. And I don't want to go into the details. It took, wow. And we were almost afraid that we're going to miss the flight. And we were the last to go on the flight. Unbelievable. And this is all this lecha. And I want to tell you something else. We're talking about lecha. The small booths that are huge, really, you won't see it. The way that the lecha that you have, it is with all the difficulties, but you know, you've got the benefit. You're going to find out in the exhibition the good firms that you're going to work with. And then, we had to decide when we're going back. We had Mincha and Mariv. It's also unbelievable to see it. Like, normally we go with Chabad from Guangzhou. They take an hotel in the tower, in the exhibition. And this time we decided too late, and there was no place. But the Rav Efi from Shanghai, I think it started last year, I think, he decided also to do the same thing. And he took also an hotel, and you have to understand what it means for us. Instead of going for every morning for hours to get to the exhibition, because we want to be near Bet Chabad and we have the ability to pray and to have kosher food and minyan. Here it's in the exhibition. They take an hotel near the exhibition, and they kosher the place, one of the halls, and we had a synagogue, and we had beautiful food, and even on the exhibition they were giving sandwiches. They're going around giving kosher sandwiches. Unbelievable. Koyach gadol to the Rav Efi. So this time, instead of going with the Rav Eliyahu from the original Kahila of Chabad in Guangzhou, we went, because he had a place, we went with the Rav Efi and his wife, the Rebbetzin Feige. They really unbelievable. It's so much to talk, but I don't want to go into all the details. And the last day, we want to go. There is a ferry that goes from Shenzhen to Hong Kong airport, where we had the flight, and you don't have to stop on the way, don't have to do anything. But the problem was, it was too early, and we would miss Mincha and Mariv in a minyan. And you know, if you have the opportunity to daven Mincha and Mariv in abroad, especially in China, in a minyan, for us it was very important. So me and my son decided we are going to go after Mincha and Mariv with a taxi, which is let's say the difficult way. As I told you before, it took us an hour only to cross the border, and you have to get there, and then you have to get to the airport, and we were the last there. And you think to yourself, oh, look, I did what God wants me to do. I stayed for Mincha and Mariv in a minyan, and this is how God rewards me with all those difficulties, almost missing the flight. But that's exactly Yetzirah. That's exactly the point. Look around us and see all the tests that people are going on. Look at the Chatufim, the captured, that were released, the life captured, that were captured. Unbelievable lesson of Emunah. How they let's say, the belief went up and up. And how did they say? They were davening, they were fasting, they were saying Shema Yisrael, and a lot to learn. So, when we read the parashat of Lech lecha ma'atzcham v'adchem bet avicha, it doesn't matter what test we are going through. We have to understand Lech lecha is always the tovatcha. It's for our own benefit. So even if we get stuck because we stayed for a minyan and we got because of it stuck and we almost missed the flight, it's the Lech lecha. It's the tovatcha. It's for our own benefit. And of course, when you do good things and you get good things, that's a beautiful Lech lecha. As like we had this minyan and kosher food in the exhibition, near the exhibition, so we just had to walk to the exhibition for 5 minutes and we're there. Wow! This is also Lech lecha. This is all Lech lecha. So you have tests from this kind, you have tests from the other kind, but the main thing is to know that they are all tests like the tests of Avraham Avinu. Lech lecha ma'atzcham v'adchem bet avicha el ha'aretz asher areka. The mission is to get to the Aretz Ha'elyona, to elevate ourselves through walking in this, in our journeys here, our 10 tests here, in order to get to the place in Olam Haba, Ba'aretz Asher Areka. That's the land that God is showing us. And we all know what that land is. And Bezrat Hashem, each one of us will take himself and take this Lech lecha, those tests that we're going through in life, in a good way, and understanding that everything is Lech lecha letovatcha, for our benefit. Shefa brucho v'atzlucho, all the best.